In a world that's filled with doom and gloom, Kung Fu Hot Dog is here to save the day and your sanity.
Spider-Man is quintessentially a Marvel character. I'm stating the obvious. But of course, to Sony, who just own the character's rights to be on the big screen, have nothing to do with the comic books. So I do wonder, after the success of the inevitable box office returns for Spider-Man, a brand new day being released on the 31st of July 2026, it all depends whether the license will eventually run out for Sony and to hand the reins of the kingdom of Spider-Man back to Disney and Kevin Feige. Well, stick around folks and see what we're going to be talking about today in this rather fantastic video. I know, I'm so modest, I can't help it. Ladies and gentlemen, with all this talk about censoring people, censoring video games, censoring me for God's sake, I don't know when that's going to happen, but at some point it might do. Well, if you've been following my channel from the very beginning, 5 years ago now, I have talked about Spider-Man quite a lot. He's my favorite superhero because while I do like DC a little bit more than Marvel in terms of their movie output when it comes to the quintessential superhero, Peter Parker is my man. He is a Caucasian dude. We don't talk about Miles Morales here on his channel unless we're taking the piss out of him because Mr. Morales is a poor stand-in, a poor substitute for Spidey. There's only one Peter Parker, there's only one Spider-Man. But when it comes to the film output, well, it's a very interesting course of events that we've had so far, because obviously started off with Nicholas Hammond, if you want to go back that far in the 70s, with Kool and the Gang groovy fantastic Spider-Man. Then obviously after that we had Mr. Tobey Maguire, then Andrew Garfield, and now for the third time it's Tom Holland returning for his fourth film. And it's very interesting, all these leaked images, all this footage that we've seen in the last 48 hours regarding Spidey. I can't wait to react to it, folks. So without further ado, give me a thwip in the comments below, spin that magic web of deceit and subscribe to me. Let's sit back, let's relax, and I might, if I can, find the footage of Matt Ramos being the pretend pop culture influencer where he disses Spider-Man Homecoming. How dare he? I love that film. In fact, I'm watching it today.
You serious?
Yes, hallelujah. It's the video show. And now, the man the BBC calls
Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Tom, I'm over here. Hey, Tom.
You're on the phone.
You gotta wait and see, mate.
But wait a minute, that's not Spider-Man, that's some Cockney geezer in a spider mask.
Spider-Man.
The echoes of my childhood, ladies and gentlemen. That theme tune never goes away. In fact, I probably have to get it as my ringtone again, remove my Terminator 2 one, which is all doom and gloom every time I pick that phone up. But here we go, folks, now courtesy of, who is this? Scottish Journeys. They're making a bit of a killing at the moment, whoever they got filming all the behind the scenes footage. Now, a little bit of a quick story for you folks. I wanted to move to Glasgow some years ago on a mutual exchange with me and my mum, but it never quite happened because, again, mum is afraid of the snow. I love the snow, which is rather interesting for a guy of my complexion. But here we go. Spider-Man, directed not by John Watts, and I'll get into that as well, why that is the case. Directed by Shang-Chi director Daniel Destin Cretton, or as I'll call him, Crouton. And let's have a quick look. So this should be rather webtastic. I'm probably going to sail through some of this, to be honest, guys, because it's not really that exciting, but I do like the process of how they set up movies and what have you. And again, look, If you told me this is Glasgow, I would not believe it. Again, the reason why they're shooting in Glasgow is to save money. Film production is so expensive these days, but I would actually blame film studios who want to shell out millions of dollars for a production. Michael Mann, who's directing Heat 2, or hasn't yet directed Heat 2, because he went up to Warner Brothers and says, bros, can you give me $200 million to make this movie? Michael, I love you as a director. Dude, I'm getting Black Cat this week to watch. But you cannot justify $200 million for a heist movie. It's got to be something else like $50 to $100 million. That's a bit better, a bit more reasonable. I don't know what the budget for this film is yet, but I hope it's a lot more cheaper than Superman's James Gunn. But that looks really good. I mean, again, to probably just get old cars or 3D print them off the lobby line and then paint them all up to look like an authentic New York cab. It's really, really cool. Again, I've used this channel's footage before because they were shooting the Batman here, weren't they? In the Flash, I believe. This vehicle here, apparently it belongs to the Punisher. If you look at the red logo right here, that's kind of reminiscent of that redesign they did for Punisher a few years ago, which everybody rejected because it was a pile of shit.
Oh, no.
So apparently Punisher, Frank Castle is driving this. I don't know what DD9 means, or as I like to think it is, double D9. 9 double D boobed babes running towards the tank to smash it to death. That's the way I like to die, if you don't mind. Now, of course, folks, if you've not read the Dan Slott run of Spider-Man, so it's Spider-Man One More Day Than One Moment in Time, not to be confused with the Whitney Houston song. This will take an inspiration from that, so it won't be a direct one-to-one translation of that comic book. Hello, mate. Yeah, don't forget my fiver. Yeah, you got it, geezer. Who would have thought that Glasgow would be the epicenter of Spider-Man 4? This is insane. Tom Holland meeting fans dressed as Spider-Man in Glasgow. I mean, he's not an armed god, but the security guy right here with the red hair. See, red-headed white men, they're still a thing, folks. They are still a thing. He reminds me of Kevin Conroy. I was like, always just like, that can't be Kev. God rest his soul, by the way, but this is so surreal. Can you imagine, like, this security guard is being paid to protect an actor dressed as Spider-Man? Weird times, right? NYPD cars in the background. I mean, I would love to live in Scotland right now just to be part of this moment in fandom right here. It is pretty incredible, isn't it? Holy shit. And the funny thing is, folks, I mean, I was going to save it till the end, but I'm going to mention it right now. But the reason why Marvel and Disney are pretty cool about all of this stuff being leaked, because the last few films have done abysmally at the box office. Obviously, Captain Negro America failed, Thunderbolt failed, Fantastic Four, I mean, the rule of three, right? And it's happening in the worst possible way. But I've got a message for you, Disney and Sony, but I'll leave it for you till the very end. I think it's one that might be falling on deaf ears at this stage in time. But again, all the leaks, no one's going to come after you and ask you to take down the footage. To me, that's actually bad publicity. Kevin Feige needs a win with this character, because again, I would say for the next 6 years, Sony will hold on to the license of Spider-Man. Marvel, or should I say Disney, did laughingly offer Sony $300 million to buy back Spider-Man, and Sony turned around and said, like, are you on drugs? Are you high? Because Spider-Man No Way Home, if I'm not mistaken, made almost or exceeded $2 billion. In an era when, COVID is still around, no one's going to go and watch Spider-Man No Way Home, and, well, we all proved them wrong, didn't we? Look at that. Look at that. People are happy. People are forgetting their troubles and their woes and everything else. They've come out to see this guy. I mean, look, you got Superman, you got Spider-Man. I think genuinely people find Spidey a lot more exciting. He's probably, even though Superman's been out long before Spider-Man in terms of comic books, when it comes to just a cool looking superhero and who's everybody's favorite arachnid boy, it's going to be Spidey, of course. Tom Holland says he will only return as Spider-Man if it's worth the while of the character. We have been actively engaging in talks about what it could potentially look like for a fourth rendition of my character. So obviously the previous trilogy directed by John Watts, where he was still at high school, and now this will be the mark of Peter Parker going into Empire State University, which makes sense. Now that for me was the best run of Spider-Man in the early 70s, because my God, I mean, I've talked about it before ad nauseum, but I mean ad nauseum in a really, really positive way. That for me was like Peter Parker becoming a man. His best roommate was Flash Thompson, the guy that bullied him at school. And now we've got the two of them living together. It's just so cool. So I would expect to see that in this fourth Spider-Man outing. And on the BBC, yeah, we got more footage. We're going to come to this little kid in a minute, actually. It's really cool. But again, it's nice to see this kind of news proliferating the broadband waves instead of the usual dog crap we're getting at the moment with other things going on, which I won't really mention here. But that is classic John Romita all over, because I would say Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man suit is very Steve Ditko inspired. Maybe a hint, yeah, I would say Steve Ditko inspired, and then Andrew Garfield is more akin to Spectacular Spider-Man. Again, like that comic run, like that costume design, but this is very John Romita Sr., God bless his soul. Met his son a few years ago. His son is an absolute gem of a guy to talk to. We're going to have some more of those Spider-Man fan pictures right here. Probably go back a bit. Yada yada yada. Very cool. I love that. That is such a great image right there. Again, this is not paparazzi pictures. People with high definition cameras that you would normally film overflying aircraft with, right? And you're snapping this guy here, and I mean the scaling on his outfit just looks incredible. This is a 3D costumer's wet dream, right? Holy shit, it just looks really, really good. Now John Bernthal returning as Frank Castle in The Punisher. Have a look at this. He will reportedly still be a murderous psychopath in Spider-Man Brand New Day, and will be equipped with tools to handle bigger threats, including a tank and advanced technology. Daniel RPK, this same idiot who claims that Princess Zelda was going to be played by a dude who thinks is a woman. So I'll take that with a pinch of salt. But this photograph right here of Frank, now some people have said, oh, he looks like he's modeling, why is he gone for this look? But I think I know what the simpler answer is. He's actually filming with Christopher Nolan The Odyssey with Tom Holland, and he wears a beard in that movie, so it makes sense that you probably can't shave the beard off and make another film. Remember what happened to Henry Cavill, right? The whole Moustache Gate thing with Justice League and Mission Impossible Fallout. So they can't repeat that again. But honestly, I think the beard looks good, and it's nice to have a different variant of Frank Castle. So I definitely don't have a problem with the way John Bernthal looks. In fact, and he looks like he's bulked up again as well, because he always bulks up and then bulks back down again for certain film roles. But I would say a PG-13 Frank Castle, it could work. I mean, we've gotten so used to seeing him on Netflix and on Disney Plus being a murderous psychopath. You can find an in-between, right, which I think is going to be worth watching. I'm not averse to it. I think a PG-13 Frank Punisher could be good. At least we've got the OG Skull, right? That's what we want. That's what fans have wanted for a long time. Them actually accepting that is a very good thing in my books. It's like, again, is it fan service, or is it people in marketing saying, if you do this, we'll sell a few more toys, bro? So we'll see. And to be honest, I think people have gotten over Frank Castle, the Punisher, being a problematic character. He's never been problematic. You're the one who created the problem, nobody else. So on IMDb, let's have a look at the returning and brand new cast members. Zendaya as MJ, which is just so ridiculous beyond belief. Jacob Batalon as Ned Leeds. Michael Mandor as Matt Gargan, aka the Scorpion. So I think his costume might be a mixture of practical and CGI. Zendaya as MJ, we know it's Michelle Johnson, whatever, no one cares. She is never going to be my Mary Jane as played by Kirsten Dunst. But Sadie Sink right here, who I think is a terrific actress. I've always liked her after Stranger Things. But if you look at this particular photo right here, she is one or two characters that I immediately think of, aka Mary Jane Watson. That's the obvious one you vie for. But if they're basing it on Spider-Man One Moment in Time, then she could be the character of Carly, who is a new love interest for Peter Parker, which I would welcome in a heartbeat. But we'll have to wait and see, folks. But her casting, very exciting. I've always liked her. She's great. And everything I've seen her in so far, she's been absolutely fabulous. Like Joanna Lumley and Jennifer Saunders. There we've got Tom Holland with his spider butts on top of that Frank Castle Punisher tank. Again, sorry about the haze here, folks. Not sure what's going on. If it was Jimi Hendrix, it would be a purple haze, of course. But you get the drift. Now this is what I'm talking about, folks. Little kid, Scotland, sees his hero right there in front of him. I mean, it almost brings tears to my eyes. It really does. It's so cool. That's so cool. That's so cool. I love it. I love it. Oh, have a look here. Is Matt Ramos a grifter? I can answer that question for you. Yes, he is. He's an influencer, but knows shit about pop culture. This is the same guy that said in a recent podcast where somebody asked him about Spider-Man 4, and he said he did not like the Homecoming movie because he preferred the Tobey Maguire movies before that, specifically Spider-Man 2. Forgetting the fact that you should be talking about the comics, bro, like how do they reinterpret the character from the comic books onto the big screen? He failed to do any of that because he's an absolute fake and a fraud, unlike yours truly. Now, Kevin Feige, Disney, I want you to watch this video and I want you to speak to the heads at Sony and pass on the following message. When people like me and millions of others do their Spider-Man A Brand New Day reaction videos, can we not get copyrighted by Sony? Because I think it's bad faith if they continue to do that. Paramount's going down that wormhole at the moment, and it just really annoys me. So please, 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 if you don't mind us actually reacting to this leaked footage, we obviously know it's not at this stage in time, please, when we get the first trailer, the first smidgen, which I think will be, I know I like to say this because I'm always a speculator. I think we're going to get a teaser for this movie around Thanksgiving of this year. I love Thanksgiving. I mean, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. See, three in a row, folks, and I love it. And I celebrate Halloween all of October, not just the last few days or the main day itself. But I digress, folks. I think we're going to get some sort of a surprise around Thanksgiving. If not, it will be on Boxing Day, the 26th of December, 2025. We're going to get a Spider-Man Brand New Day reveal, like a full-blown trailer. Because this film is coming on the 31st of July next year. Is it going to be filmed with IMAX cameras? I don't know. I hope so. And I'm going to be there in a damn queue to watch that. I'm going to reacquire some old Spider-Man t-shirts from yesteryear. I don't care how much I've got to pay for them. I'm going to celebrate my boy like it's going out of fashion. But the question is, folks, are you going out of fashion? Have you forgotten to subscribe to my channel? If that's the case, make sure you look at your notification below. If you're unsubscribed, resubscribe for more goofy videos and reactions like this. And if I were you and if you were me, you should definitely come back for the next video. Time to hear that 60s swinging theme tune again.
What is a turnaround?